Welcome at Bawashiri once again. It is again programming Python. So today we're gonna see how to create a splash screen using tkinter. There are various methods, but me, I'm going to show you this format here. Now, what is a splash screen? When I give you a sample here, my code, when I run, it first splashes this logo Bawashiri. Are you seeing? Then after, it gives me a whole world window. Let me give you another example here. Now when I start here, I have Photoshop. When I start it, you see what this one is, what we call a splash screen. What splashes before the real window of Photoshop appears like that. So we are going to see how to design that splash screen. I've designed mine, but I want to take you through step by step so that you can also know how to design yours. I'm just going to create my new Python file. I'm going to hold Ctrl+Shift+S, that is save as. I'm going to call it splash up. Are we there? Can put here something like that, splash up.py. Don't forget the extension py, please. Sublime Text that I'm using what recognize your file and what help you in debugging and compiling as well. So that is save. Now here, before we continue, I have my folder. My folder here, it has some image here. Now for me to simplify everything, I just designed my splash screen in form of an image. So this is Bawashiri Python programming is the image I'm going to post on my splash screen. Then after, it brings me a hello world window that we are going to develop step by step. There we go. So I'm going to, since I'm going to use tkinter, I'm just going to say from tkinter import everything, and that is Esther. And now, since I'm going to use an image, we have a library in Python called Pillow or Pill. It's the one, it is called Python Imaging Library. Are you seeing? I can say from, and this one, please, is not a built-in package. How do you access Pillow? You go to your CMD command line. If you have internet access, then type pip install Pillow, just like that, and hit enter. Are you seeing? Me, I don't have internet access as per now, but for you, if you have one, it's going to install there and then. And now me, is the requirement already satisfied Pillow. That means mine is already installed, so no need to install again. So I'm going to say from Pillow, I'm going to import something called image tk, comma, and also image. Are we there? That is what is going to help me to use my designed photo or my designed image as a splash screen. I designed it using Photoshop. Please, you can design yours in the way that you wish like. Then, as usual, we are going to have our root window, of course. Root equals tk. As usual, allow me zoom the things so that we can see properly. Yep. Then I'm going to have, now we had something like icon, something like title, but we are not going to do that. So let me just have here a background, root.config. I'll have a bg, a background equals to blue violet. What's up? So a background here equals to blue violet. That's background color. Are you seeing? Then what I'm going to do next, I'm going to have here a main loop. Are you seeing? So when I run this one, this is what appears. You see, this is the blue violet background. If I close, now I'm going to have something like root dot override redirect. Then I'm going to say true. What does this one help us with? Let's see. So override redirect helps us to remove the title bar. like here the way you see Sublime, this bar here with the Sublime text, what tools, minimize, maximize, it has removed. So let's try to give it a good position. Now I'm going to first load my image. I'm just going to say here load equals, then I'm going to say image, I see, then I'm going to have splash, or in quotes, splash. My image, I named it splash, and the file format is JPEG. Let me show you. It is here, splash.jpg. So that's how you also should put the file name of your image that you have designed, in case you're using my format. Just forgotten something here, image.open. Now I'm going to have some other variable. I'm gonna call it render equals, then here I'm going to have something like image tk dot photo image. Wow. Into brackets, I'm going to render this load here, and the load will have opened this image file. Are we there? Then I'm going to copy now the width. I'm going to say here width equals what? Equals render dot width. Are we seeing? Then I say height, h is going to give me render dot height. Is that the SP? Maybe. So what does this mean? Here we have started by loading our image file into our Python file. This is, I just named the variable load. You can name it any. Image.open. Here don't use any. This is the library that we use, and I'm going to open my splash image, which is here. Then I'm going to render it. Just use the word render. So in rendering, I use image tk library dot photo image. Then what am I rendering? I'm rendering the load, which is this line here. Then I'm going to get its width, that's render.width, and the height, render.height. That's the height of the image and the width of the image. So that's what is going to help me to get the geometry of my what? Geometry of my window, splash window. And now the geometry, I'm going to have semicolon, I'm going to have percentage d times percentage d, are we there, plus here now the position, you can say 400 plus 300 plus 300, that's the position of the screen. Then now this percentage is just an unknown value, which is going to be fetching from this width, the rendered width, and the rendered height. Then thereafter again I'll have some percentage, then I'll have the brackets, that's width and height. So that's how. Let's try to run this, but will it run indeed? Okay, but the image is not yet rendered. Okay, let's do this. We have just not placed it, so I'm just going to create something like here, a frame, a container equals frame. Let me call this one maybe frame 1. I'm gonna have another frame. Then here it is going to be in the root window, of course. Then after there I'm going to place it. I'm going to have frame 1.grid row equals 1, column equals 1. I'm just using grid placing. Please let me hope you know the grid logic. Then from there I'm going to have a label. Just call it label equals label, and I'm going to place it in frame 1, and I'm going to have image. It is just going to be an image, and that image is going to be my rendered image. Are you seeing? Then after there I'm going to place my label dot grid row equals 1, column equals 1. Are we there? Now let me try to run this one and see. Oh, unknown option image. What's the problem? It is just supposed to be a smaller eye. Wow. Yeah, that is the splash screen coming. Now this splash screen, it has to go away and bring something, our hello world window. I'm just going to close it. So I'm going to define a hello world window function somewhere here. I'm going to say next window. Okay, don't make noise. Next window is going to be defined in this format. I'm going to have frame1 dot remove. I'm just going to remove frame1. I'm just showing you the simplest method to do this. Oh, this is frame1 dot grid remove. Are we there? Then I'm going to have frame2 dot grid. I'm now going to replace it with frame2. I'm just going to have column. Okay, can start with any, but row equals 1 and column equals 1. Are we there? So I'm just going to place that one. But now frame2, we don't have it in our file. I'm going to come down here and generate frame2 and say frame2 equals frame. Are we there? And it's going to happen in this root window. Are we there? And it's going to have a background of blue violet. Then in that frame, I'm going to just have a label. Another label, can call it label2 equals label, of course. And it's going to have a text. It's going to be in frame2, and it's going to have a text of hello world. Hello world. Are we there? It's going to have some features such as the font. Let me put it around here. Font equals, I'm going to use Calibri as the font type. I'm going to use 20 as the font size. As the font size, I'm going to make it maybe bold. I'm going also to give it a color, and that is BG equals which color? Put your favorite color. Me, I'm putting mine is what? Blue. Yeah, there we go. I'm going to have here BG. No, this one can be FG. Then that's foreground. Then I'm going to generate its background BG. Let me call it violet. Don't be worried of these colors. You're going to see what's going to happen. Then I'm just going to put here another feature, something called width, and I'm going to give it a width of around 30. And here I'm going to place my label. Label2, of course, dot grid. That is row equals 1 and column equals 1. Are we there? I'm going to do some little padding again, and I'm just going to do a pad on the y-axis equals 100. So there the window does not happen to appear yet. So I'm just going to do something here. What is that? I'm going to have a function that sends away the splash screen and generates the hello world window. And here I'm just going to have a function root.after. Are you seeing? Root.after. So now here I'm using 4000 milliseconds. So that means I'm going to give it a splash screen for 4 seconds. 4 seconds. Then after, I'm going to call my function next window. Are we there? So let's try this one and see. or frame 1 was the problem? Name frame 2 is not defined. Did you mean frame 1? Here frame 2 is not defined. Okay, this one was supposed to be frame 2. Frame 2 equals frame, because you already have frame 1, and here in our function here, this is frame 2. Now here I've given the grid here, and here I did not give the grid this side. Are you seeing here frame 2 has no grid, just because I don't want to appear yet before the function next window is called. So let's see. Wow, that's how she did the splash screen. So it's given 4 seconds, and after the hello world window pops up. So that's how we deal with splash screens. That's one of the methods. That's mine, not yours. Can generate any other programmer can generate his or hers. That's how I do mine. Poop. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment with your concerns. See you when you see me in our hello world.